Disputing an error on your credit report is one of the most important steps you can take to protect and maintain your financial health. Credit reports are used by lenders, landlords, employers, and insurance companies to assess your reliability and risk profile. If your report contains incorrect or outdated information, it can lead to denied applications, higher interest rates, lost job opportunities, or even rejection for housing. While credit reporting agencies strive for accuracy, mistakes happen more often than most people realize. The good news is that you have the legal right to dispute and correct these errors under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, a federal law that gives you control over your credit file. The process of disputing a credit report error begins with identifying the mistake. To do this, you need to review your credit reports from all three major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Each bureau may have slightly different data because not all lenders report to all three. You can obtain free copies of your credit reports once a year from annualcreditreport.com, the only official website authorized by federal law for this purpose. As of recent changes, you can access your reports weekly for free. Once you receive your reports, go through them line by line to check for inaccuracies such as accounts you don't recognize, incorrect balances, wrong payment statuses, outdated personal information, or fraudulent activity. After spotting an error, the next step is to determine whether the mistake is simple, such as a misspelled name, or something more serious, like a collection account you don't owe. Understanding the nature of the error helps you build a strong case when you prepare your dispute. Keep in mind that even small mistakes, like an incorrect date of last payment or the wrong account status, can affect your credit score significantly. Every detail matters, especially when those details are used to assess your financial behavior. Accuracy is not just about fairness, it can influence your access to credit and your financial future. Once you've identified the error, it's time to gather evidence. Supporting documentation is essential when you dispute a credit report item. For example, if a payment is listed as late but you paid on time, a bank statement or confirmation email from your lender can prove otherwise. If an account listed doesn't belong to you, you may want to provide identity theft reports or correspondence with the creditor. Your dispute is more likely to be taken seriously if you include documentation that substantiates your claim. Keep copies of everything you submit, as well as any correspondence you receive during the dispute process. Now you're ready to formally file your dispute. You can do this online, by mail, or by phone, although mailing your dispute with return receipt requested is often recommended because it provides a physical record of your communication. When filing the dispute, clearly identify the item you believe is incorrect, explain why you believe it's a mistake, and include your supporting documents. Each credit bureau has its own dispute process and online portal, so if the error appears on all three reports, you will need to file 3 separate disputes. The credit bureaus are legally required to investigate and respond to your claim within 30 days, unless they consider it frivolous or unfounded. While the credit bureau investigates, it will contact the company that reported the disputed information, known as the data furnisher. This could be a bank, credit card issuer, lender, or collection agency. The furnisher is required to check their records, investigate your claim, and report their findings back to the bureau. If the furnisher agrees that the information is inaccurate, they must notify all 3 credit bureaus to correct or delete the information. If they determine the information is accurate, the account will remain as is, unless you escalate the dispute with further documentation. Once the investigation is complete, the credit bureau must provide you with the results in writing, along with a free copy of your updated credit report if a change was made. If the item is removed or corrected, you should see the change reflected in your credit file within a few weeks. However, if the bureau rules against you and leaves the error intact, you still have options. You can request that a brief statement explaining your side of the dispute be added to your report, though this note may not influence your credit score directly. You can also refile your dispute with additional evidence or escalate your complaint to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB. Sometimes errors are the result of identity theft. If you see accounts that you didn't open or debts that don't belong to you, it could mean someone is using your information fraudulently. In this case, you'll need to take more aggressive action. Start by placing a fraud alert on your credit report, which warns lenders to verify your identity before extending credit. You can do this by contacting any one of the 3 credit bureaus, and they are required to inform the other 2. Then file a police report and submit an identity theft report to the Federal Trade Commission via identitytheft.gov. With these documents, you can begin the process of blocking fraudulent accounts from your credit file. Persistence is crucial when disputing credit report errors. Sometimes the dispute process fails to correct valid mistakes, especially if the creditor insists the information is correct. If this happens, you may want to contact the creditor directly to resolve the issue. If the creditor agrees the information is wrong, ask them to send an official letter confirming the correction, which you can then submit to the credit bureaus as part of a renewed dispute. If the creditor refuses or the issue persists, you may consider consulting a consumer protection attorney or filing a lawsuit under the FCRA, which allows for legal action against companies that report incorrect information or fail to correct it after being notified. To prevent future credit report errors, it's a good habit to check your credit reports regularly. Even if you're not actively applying for credit, keeping an eye on your reports helps you spot problems early, such as inaccurate balances or unknown accounts. Signing up for credit monitoring can alert you to significant changes in your credit file, including new accounts, credit inquiries, or changes in your score. Early detection gives you time to respond before the error causes long-term damage. Monitoring services can be free or paid, depending on the features offered, but even the basic ones can provide valuable peace of mind. Additionally, always be careful about who you share your personal financial information with. Use secure websites when entering your Social Security number, avoid accessing financial accounts on public Wi-Fi, and never respond to emails or messages asking for sensitive information. Many credit report errors stem from identity theft, and taking proactive steps to safeguard your personal data can help prevent fraudulent activity. Shred sensitive documents before disposing of them, use strong and unique passwords, and enable 2-factor authentication on your online accounts. If you've recently gone through a divorce, name change, or relocation, double-check your credit report to ensure personal information such as your name, address, and employment details are current and accurate. Incorrect personal data can sometimes lead to the merging of your credit file with someone else's, especially if they have a similar name. This rare but serious error, known as a mixed file, can be difficult to correct and may take significant time and documentation to resolve. Always verify that your identity information matches your legal records to reduce the risk of such errors. A successful credit dispute can significantly improve your credit standing. Removing incorrect late payments, outdated collections, or fraudulent accounts can raise your credit score and make you eligible for better loan terms and credit offers. Beyond the financial benefits, disputing and correcting your credit report can restore your peace of mind and give you confidence in your financial profile. Many people overlook this process or assume it's too complicated, but the reality is that you have both the right and the tools to take control of your credit history.